Okay, I'm back. Hope you can see that. I hope you can hear me. I didn't do a very good job of tidying up, so I will attempt to do that now. Okay, let me refresh. I didn't do that either, so now just give me a thumbs up. Can you see me? Can you see and hear me? And are we in the right orientation? Because I've done nothing different, but yeah, I'm wondering if it's actually turned around. Oh, and it is. Look at that. How bizarre. How bizarre. It's actually in landscape version now. Don't know why that is. Hi, Susan. I think I can see you watching. So does that look all right, Susan? Is that the orientation correct and everything? Yep, I got a couple of thumbs up. Hopefully we're good to go. Alright, so I'm going to be using this stamp set now to continue with our Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend Marker tutorial. More ways to use your pens. So let's get started. So I have got some of these stamps already onto some blocks. Off to the side here. Alright, I'm just going to move that one. So this is one of our current stamp and thin cut sets called Simple Florals. So I'm going to show you how we use these and our alcohol pens. So the one thing I will just point out to you is that you have solid stamps here. So solid surfaces, not outline areas. So we'll come back to those in a second. I've still got my sorry, I don't need my alcohol. What am I saying? So I've got those here. I have my Versamark ink. I have my anti-static pouch, which is very loved and is only half full. So it's been with me many, many years. So still does a perfect job for what we need. So let's get started. I am going to choose, so I did some samples and I used White Daisy cards. Sorry, I used White Daisy, didn't I? So let me just double check. Yep, so I'm going to try this with watercolor paper this time. Give this a go. So let's get this happening. Some I know I stuck down some washi tape somewhere. I don't know where I put the rest of it, but that's okay. We'll just go with that. Oh, here we are, up here. Yay! All right. Oh, I shouldn't be sticking that down there, should I? No. What am I doing? We won't do that. But I will. This is my older mat, so I will turn that over to get the sponge side. But I'm also going to actually put down this for a little added. I don't know what I've got stuck on there. So this piece is 6 inches long by probably 4 inches wide. So to start this technique off, has anyone or have you girls done wet embossing? So using the Versamark ink and using embossing powder. Today we're using the white, and then using the heat gun to change it. Put in the comments whether you have actually tried this technique. If you have actually done some of the what we call wet embossing. So for this one, I'm going to create a little scene using a couple of things as well. I'm just going to bring in our embossing ink pens and work out the best tip. So this is the broad, and I did use this when I was testing. I think it's a bit too big of a tip. This is the medium, which is probably a better size tip. And then there's the brush tip. So I think for what we're doing right now, I'm going to use the medium. So I'll pop that just there. I hope I've got everybody in the screen. Looks like I do. So that's a great start. So this stamp set was a fairly new set, and I'm going to season that on my skin. So when these are manufactured, they have a finishing film on them. You just need to buff that off or rub that off. I mean, you could just do it with your finger. You could do it with probably even this, with your stamp chamois. I think I had a residue of actual Versamark on there, the clear ink. Just something that doesn't leave any pilly bits or fibres on there you don't want to use. I have used one of these cloths before and it left little fibres all over it, so you don't really want that. So I'm going to go with this one to start with, creating a scene. I'm going to, let me think, I'm going to put that one there. It is hard to see these until they are actually heat embossed, and we are using white, which you will be able to see. Right, I'm just going to put on my first stem. Actually, I might actually do my leaf and a leaf in. I'm going to put a leaf on the end of those. And then I will put another, doesn't matter if they overlap somewhat, but yeah, I'll just start with that for now, just so I can see. So I've got one large flower. I'm just going to do the leaf and just see where that ends up. Doesn't matter if I go off the page. Oh, I forgot to use my anti-static bag. Oh my goodness. All right, so this is what helps you with your embossing. Sorry, had it there. My very loved anti-static powder pouch didn't get a look in. All right, so this one I'm going to put here. Okay, it's probably not, I haven't really got that other flower in a great spot, have I? So I'm going to just stamp that lower. Okay, we may or may not see the pink, but anyway, we'll come back to that and I'll explain why I said that in a minute. I've got a butterfly. I'm going to use the butterfly in this one. I was thinking I was going to use the dragonfly, but I'm going to just be a little bit random here and go with this butterfly. I'm just going to wipe this because I can see I've got some ink on there. Just loading up the butterfly. Now I have had black ink on here, so there is a little bit that comes off when I stamp the Versamark, but that will be covered up with the white embossing powder. I did not clean my stamp correctly, so I usually clean them when I put them away, so it will get clean, don't worry. So I've also got this little grassy, or what, I don't know, little stems and leaves. So I'm going to ink that up and just pop that one there, and I might just drop it down a bit lower and put, I think that's enough. It's going to be a little blank spot there. Let me see. Yeah, no, that's enough. All right, for the sake of this exercise, we do not need more. Okay, so we're all good to go. I'm just going to make sure I've got all my stamps properly on some blocks so they don't walk away on me. Popping that to the side, I'll bring in my trusty piece of paper. I'll open that just to catch my white embossing powder so I can funnel that back into jar. Oh, that was silly, Alison. Had a bit of that fluff everywhere, but that's all right. So there's a couple little pieces that were stuck because I didn't put the anti-static powder bag over the whole thing before I started. I just like to take a dry brush of any sort, just as long as it's dry, and just wipe away any bits I've missed. Now this next part is going to be a little bit loud, so I might just see if I can turn the volume down on my phone without causing too much drama. But let me look at my mess. Sorry about that thumping. Oh dear, that's not going to work. I don't use baby wipes on my stamps, or I don't use them on my stamps, but I do use them for little cleanups like that. So they do come in handy that way. I always make a habit of putting my embossing powder away straight away, so I don't accidentally heat set my image and heat set what's underneath. Plus two, I don't spill it, so that's what I do. Right, so I'm just going to see if I can drop the volume on my phone. Hopefully this is going to work. And you can't hear me. Okay, so I hope that wasn't loud for you, or maybe you had to turn your volume down. Sorry if you did. I could see I've not got one little spot, so okay, I'm back. I think that's all shiny. So what happens is it goes lovely and shiny when it's done. So right, putting that aside, I will go on to the next section, which is the colouring of it. So for this one, let me just grab my all-purpose mat. I'll bring that back in and show you what we're going to do. So I'm actually up to the alcohol, number 9, watercolouring with. Am I up to that one? Sorry, no, I'm up to number 8, and I think there's a couple of things. Yeah, a couple of things in that one. Yeah, no, this is the wet embossing. That's right. So I'm up to there. So for this one, I'm going to choose a couple of colours, and this is where I had my colour wheel. So you want some analogous colours, and analogous means they are next to each other on the colour wheel. So you could do green, blue, and purple, or you could do blue, green, yellow, or you could do yellow, reds, and purple, or reds, purple, blue. Okay, so you are sticking to 3 sections, if you will. The other colour wheel has the colours around the outside, just your basic colours. but I think you get my idea. So there's a whole blue section, there's a green section, yellow, so on. So you just want to pick 3 colours that are next to each other on the colour wheel. Okay, so what I'm going to pick for this one is, I've already done a sample one with a couple of colours. I'm going to change it up a bit. I'm going to go with a bright yellow. I'm going to actually use the citrus blend. I'm going to use that one. I'm going to use green and a blue. So I'm going to use a blue, which is True Blue blend, and a nice, I'll use this green, the light green blend. So for this, I'm just going to scribble quite random sections on my all-purpose mat. I'm using the dark side of the colour on the pens, and I'm just literally just making a whole big mess basically on my all-purpose mat. Aren't we lucky that it cleans up beautifully? All right, so now I'm going to spritz this. Now you could use a piece of acetate and just put that straight onto, like, basically acetate, but we don't have to do that. Now I didn't wet down my paper before I started, which would have been better, I think, because it just actually allows the colours to bleed through to the back. I've got a bit of texture coming through one of those pens, but you know, I actually quite like it. So we've got quite a wet surface here right now with the overspray. Just going to go ahead and repeat some of this. Bit more green. Right. Get this nice and wet. You could, it didn't like me having it on the angle. I think this, I didn't put enough spray on it before, and I can see some lines in that, so I'm just going to smudge them a bit more so I don't get the lines in it. Yellow, and you've got a little bit of blending going on between the colors as well, so finger does the job beautifully. Right, smush that. I say smush, my customers go smush. What is smush? So there we go. Now we do need to set that aside. I don't want to heat dry that because you've got your heat embossing on there. So the back of it also has colour on it, so I'll show you. Hopefully that will dry in time and we can have a look at that. All right, so that was number 8. Watercolouring is another one. Is the watercolouring is the next one. So I know we are probably getting out of time. I have moved my program. What have we got? So we've got so our next one comes on in another half an hour or so. We should definitely be well and truly through it by then. So let's hop into our next one. So for this one, I'm going to do, I've got a stamp here, and I'm going to go straight to my, straight to my light green blend, and I'm going to colour the stamp in. Picked up some fluff. This makes a gorgeous background, nice and soft, just a totally different look to just a solid stamp. I'll just swing it. I'm left-handed, so I'll just turn it upside down. Go and add all that to those little leaves. I'm just doing little dots because this is a really narrow stamp. I could, yeah, sometimes, especially with this technique, doing on the back of the, doing on the acrylic stamp, you want a bit of a build-up of colour, so otherwise you'd be just wiping it, you'd be striping it on or wiping it on, drawing it on, and then as you glide across it, you also taking it back off. So I found that was better. So then we spritz this one like so. Find me a piece of cardstock. This one will work. I haven't got down my, I'll put that down. Leave that there for a little tiny bit. There you go. Okay. Then to clean off your, I should have said in the beginning, I've tested all these techniques. I haven't had any adverse effects on my stamps or products. We always get some staining on our stamps anyway, but I will go back and properly clean that. We do have Stays-On cleaner, which I'll probably use, and that will definitely come off. So there's that one. We'll put that aside, but you can see it's a nice soft background image that would work beautifully on a card. Here's one I did earlier with a lighter green. Okay, so you can see it just creates that really nice soft texture in the background. All right, next on my list, I'm up to number 10, and you girls, you ladies might have done this before. So I've got shimmer trim, or actually this is not, this is glitter paper that I've cut down. We have had white shimmer trim in our range. Shimmer trim. Yeah, we did have white shimmer trim in our range, which is not in our range at the moment. But we do have white glitter paper, which is actually better, I think. It's more versatile. You don't have to get the sticky strip off the back. You just need to use glue. So I have done a sample piece, but I'm going to choose a different color and show you. I'll show you what we're doing. So we're basically just colouring our shimmer trim. So I've started with the really light, and I'm going to just do a little ombre look, medium, overlapping a little bit with the light. You can intensify this, or you could have coloured a whole section in with the lighter and then did a whole section just missing the bit on the end, and then come in with the next colour and so on and so forth. So this one this is the darkest, I'm going to overlap. You might be able to hear that sort of the nib hitting on the sparkle in the glitter paper. Now, over time, this would probably damage your nibs, but for small, every now and again type techniques, I haven't had a problem with it. Okay, so that's a very quick shot of that. There's a few little gaps there in the darker. I'd go back in, and I've missed the side of the light, so you can definitely go back over it. You can to fill those little gaps in, I would just tap it in as well, because sometimes it just bounces off the top of the glitter that's there. So you can go back and have another go at fixing that. So that is number 10. Number 11, I want to show you what I've done with some gold, some of the gold thread, embellishing thread, and the silver embellishing thread. Just getting my finished pieces to have on hand. All right, so I've got gold and I've got silver. I'm going to go with colouring with the purple, sorry, the hydrangea blend with the dark. Again, using my all-purpose mat. Now, if you don't mind about getting your hands a bit inky, then by all means just go for it. You might want to put some plastic gloves on or something if you're a little bit worried about that. But the other thing you can do is just put some down and roll it. Whoops. Basically, actually, I will do this. I'll try this way. I've got a rather long piece here, but yeah, I sort of measured out a piece. So on camera, it always seems to go slowly, taking too much time. I think the way I did it was this, actually, because I ended up with purple or whatever colour fingers. I didn't actually use purple on my sample pieces. I'll show you those in a minute because they're dry and they are quite lovely. So just doing that a few times. This is where obviously gloves would be quite handy. You won't have a purple thumb like me. Okay, that is our purple, and the silver, I think I might do, why not? I'll do purple on that one as well, just to show you. See what that does. I haven't done purple on the silver before. It's quite pretty. I like purple and silver for Christmas. Wow, look at that. Can you see that? All right, so we've got the silver with the purple blend, the hydrangea blend. And then we've got the gold with the hydrangea blend. Now, if you put those against, hopefully you'll see it better against white cardstock. I probably could have done more purple on the gold. But here's the two I did with my testing and my samples. This is gold with green and silver with blue. So you have many options. Okay, so that is the gold and silver twine. So we're down to the tail end of my ideas. Here's a sample piece of white glitter paper I did with, I think that was the orange or the coral, I'm not 100% sure. So I've got a piece of ribbon. So we're going to colour that one. Now you've probably seen this technique when maybe I don't have the blend, what do you call it, out. Let me have a quick look and see if I've got the right colours. Layla did when she was doing her Stamp of the Month card kit. So you've probably seen this colour idea, but some of you may not have seen that. So here we go. So for this one, this is our gold, the gold and white ribbon that we still have at the moment, but it will be retiring. So for this one, I'm going to do the coral dark. Let me see, let me double check. Sorry, the peach dark. Maybe I don't have that one out. So the peach dark has gone walkabout. Okay, so the peach dark isn't where it should be. So that's okay. We will struggle on. We will continue with the citrus, which is I'm going to use the dark. That's interesting. I wonder where that's gone. I'll probably find it under my desk where I normally find things, or I even found an embellishment in my shoe the other week. That was hilarious. You know, after you spend 15 minutes on the floor, you know, trying to find it in amongst something, and then yeah, you take your shoe off at the end of the day, and it was in my shoe. So, oh, I've got written down peach. It's not peach, it's coral blend that I'm meant to be using, and I'm going to use the light end here to change this to a golden colour. Ha ha ha. Why did I write that down? Yeah, I did. I wrote down peach. That's all right. Not to worry. I'm just gliding my alcohol pen, marker, up the center and letting it letting the ink sort of go into the fibers of the ribbon, so it blends with the yellow. There you go. And Layla, I can thank Layla for that one, and so that makes a beautiful goldy color. So that is another technique which is fantastic. And then what do we have next? We have I've got a little wooden arrow. We've got lots of these wooden pieces in our sets. I'm going to try using the ice grey blend. I haven't done this before. When I showed you in part 1 at the beginning, I showed you how I had coloured in the padlock, and that was using a golden brown or an earth brown or something. So I thought I'd try another colour. I'm using the dark of this ice grey blend to get a grey, a nice grey. So there you go. So that gives you a nice grey. So the wood pieces are really great to colour up. So that's that one. We've got some, I've got some sequins here which were in our range. This is the multicolour pack. There are white sequins in here, and there's all sorts of colours. But say you want something that's not in that multi-pack, or perhaps you didn't actually get the multi-pack, and you want to try and match some of our cardstocks, or just make an embellishment that actually goes with layouts, then I'm going to take the orange blend and just colour one in. And these dry so fast, the colour stays on. Alright, and you can tap it or colour it, or however you want. You can come back and give that another go. It's a little bit blotchy at the moment, so I am rushing through these last ones. Okay, so then you've got pearls. So I've just got a couple of examples of a couple of different things. So this is one of the Stamp of the Month cards. If you qualify for the Stamp of the Month at a discount price, our customers get to receive one of these pre-cut packs, and then you can use your Stamp of the Month to actually stamp them. So everything is included in that pack. You just need your black inks, and you do your own colouring and stamping and construction. Here's some that I used with a brown alcoholic pen to colour these from a clear to a golden brown colour, and also on this one it's a slightly different colour, I think, but it's on a darker background, so I think it's throwing a different colour up through it. But that's That's some that I've coloured. And those ones, I hope they're in the camera. Maybe I should not be so close to the camera. Okay, so that's those. Also, some of our bitty tiny bling I have actually coloured in a purpley colour. So the bling, it's really good to put on bling. The other thing I was going to show you was pearls. So I'm not sure if I have any of our pearls, but we have, here we go. I've got pink pearls here. You can definitely, I've got some gold ones mixed up with those too, by the way. So here's a pink pearl that I can change. So we no longer have, there's one colour that we no longer have. I'm not sure if it's the pink. Yeah, I'm not sure. We may not have the gold, but there's definitely one colour we have. At least one colour. So I'm going to pick a bit of a random. I've got all my pens here. What will I do? Let's just do a red. Let's do a dark red. You're best to do this while it's still attached to acetate rather than having it on a project, because you're bound to slip. And when you're trying to colour down to the right down to the base of the pearl, you'll have it going over your project, and that is not a good look. So there you go. That's the pearl pretty well covered. You really only need one coat. Dries quickly and off you go. Then we have, oh, this is a fun one. I'm going to show you a sample. Okay, so here are some staples. These are great to embellish your projects, but you can see I have coloured them. So here we go. One of our consultants in America started this idea off. So yeah, I'll share this with you. It's simply the same sort of idea, but using a staple. So I'm going to do a blue one, a blue lot of staples. So next time I need to embellish my projects, I've got some blue. So now I've got some purple, some red, and some blue. And just colouring the sides as well. You could use your tweezers, or I'm just, just winging it with my fingers. So I then keep these. I've got all my staples in a little, one of our little storage boxes, little square one that we now carry round ones, which the last time I tried to get was sold out. So they're very popular. But I've got a whole stash of the blue ones. So yep, I've got them in one of those. So I've got my fingers over it and before it's dried. So alright, so we'll just quickly do that. So there you go. I think that's a bit streaky, but anyway, you get the idea. So the others didn't dry streaky. They didn't dry streaky. They just dried nice and evenly. All right. Next we've got some twine. I'm not going to do this on camera, but I have literally just run this past the nib of my green marker, and you've got any coloured white twine. I'm pretty sure this is still in our range, so you could definitely do that one with the white twine. And I have some little bits, little white acrylic hearts, and I have simply coloured straight onto them. You can also do, I have done the other side, I haven't used these ones yet, but I've used the stickles in a variety of colours. I think this is the silver, or might be the glisten. I can't remember all their names. That's a beautiful wisteria colour. And the, I can't think of the colour that one is, but that's that beautiful, you'll see it in the catalogue. But what I wanted to show you was basically how easy it is to change them up with your alcohol marker. you could definitely go over these with I've chosen the light end. When you've got a white background, it's always good to go in with the darker colour. You could go over these hearts with some liquid glass if you wanted to seal the colour in a bit more. That would be quite good. Just a single thin layer of the liquid glass over that. My husband's out there letting the gas out of his beer making keg. So yeah, that wasn't me. Okay, we're down to the last few ideas. So I think I've got all those lovely little ideas. I use the light green one on light green alcohol pen or marker on this green, so on this twine to make it that color. So I'll just pack these little bits and pieces up. So I've got lots of little goodies to go off and create with in there. And when I'm trying things out, I usually keep them in a little container off to the side, and you know, I've got these little embellishments ready to go. 2 more things. So I'm up to number 19. I don't think there's really a lot to cover. It could have broken up into 3 pieces, but I hope you've learnt lots out of this. Down to the last 2 things, I want to show you something to do with your foam tape. Now, has anyone ever thought of doing something with alcohol pens and foam tape? Okay, it doesn't matter which one I use. So whether you've got it by the round left over from your shaker window, or whether you've got some of the rolls, it doesn't matter, because what I wanted to show you was sometimes white is just not good enough foam tape. And I'm going to show an example where I've used it, but I didn't think of this at the time. But on this card, using our little Operation Smile stamp that I have made, and I also use my embossing, our embossing pen, ink pen, to write my own sentiment. Yeah, for this Operation Smile card, I could have used the black alcohol pen on it. So I'm going to just simply show you how easy that is. So I will just use this one for black, and I'll change it to black. And I have used a card. I have done this on a card, but I don't know. I may have sold it or given it away, because I do sell my cards. And I'm going to just keep this one now for cards where I have a dark or a black background. It just ties it in, especially if people can see or they look to the side. It's not really a big deal, but just to know that that's something you can do. All right, so that's number 19. Okay, and I've got my little wipe there. I might just wipe the top off. Not that it really matters, but it did come off. Last but not least, this is something that I didn't think would work. This is an idea I stumbled across as well. So I'm going to choose a couple of markers. I'm going to choose my hibiscus blend, and I'm going to choose my bright pink. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to show you how it works on silver and gold foil. Wow, who would have thought? Okay, so this is our foil paper. So I'm going to start with the purple on the gold. Literally just colour. Colour, colour, colour. Now, you will see, hopefully, you will see where I go back over the alcohol. It is lifting. So you can use that to your advantage and create a different look. So it does create great texture, and I'm just going to stop that one there. I'm going to use the hibiscus the hydrangea I should say, on to the silver. Now I could die cut something out of this. I could do whatever I want to with it. Alright, so that is the basics. Look how that's going. Okay, now with the bright pink on the gold, I'm doing just stripy bits, but you can do dots and join it all up. That's a bit slow for my liking, so I'm just going to show you on here. Just going to do a whole section of, and when you go back over it, because the foil has had the alcohol on it, it starts to shift the foil coating underneath. Now, this might not be something that you like, but just to know, for future reference, this is something you could potentially do. Now, you can leave it like this. However, taking your alcohol, just move all the pens out of the way, I spritzed it. Right, spritzed it. Whoops. Right, I spritzed it. And then I came in and tapped it, or you can just let it dry. Picked up some fluff. Okay. All right. There, my friends, is around 20 different ways to use your Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. Thank you for sticking with me. If you haven't obviously been able to watch the whole thing, it will be available here on the Facebook page by searching up Spectrum Noir, and you can start applying some of these ideas to your artwork. So thanks again. Thanks for joining me. Have a good day or evening or wherever you are in the world. Thanks again for watching. Bye.